Hello everyone, welcome back to Fire Emblem Three Houses. Well, it should have been like, new news, but what I've been doing now is just show you support, conversations and or sometimes the exploration and then just the final mission of that month. I know, it makes it easier for me because really it's kind of boring, like this really, really this all you do is listen to dialogue, support missions, do listen to characters, and then fight the big mission, which you do in between sometimes, not interesting. That's how I feel. Anyways, let's talk to them. Let's see what they say.
Why did this have to happen? Getting separated from my own troop. I'm a failure as a commander. It's already almost sunset. My wounds are aching, and I'm so hungry. Maybe I'm just gonna die right here. But no! That's such a pathetic way to die. I wonder if the rest of my soldiers are okay. I'm so worried about them.
Up and at 'em, Annette. There you go.
Caspar? What are you doing here? I was wounded in the forest, lost sight of my troop. I wandered around and Oh, where is everyone?
Calm down, you got nothing to worry about. They're fine. My men retrieved the rest of your unit. You're the one we've been worried about. How you feeling? Are you hurt?
I wonder if this is like pre-time skip or this is post-time skip, but
You've got a pretty painful looking wound on your leg.
Oh, I'm alright. Though I might have trouble running.
If you say so. I gotta admit, I got the chills when I heard you were missing. Your soldiers told me what happened. I was only able to find you thanks to them. You've got a good troop there. You should be proud. What's wrong, Annette? Not feeling so good after all?
No, that's not it. I was just thinking about what a hopeless commander I am. It's my job to look after my soldiers, but they ended up having to look out for me. If I'm this hopeless, I shouldn't be out there at all.
What are you talking about? I don't know anyone around here who works harder than you. You put your all into your work and everyone knows it. Why do you think your soldiers are so loyal?
Caspar.
There's no way they'd do so much for you if they didn't see it in you. Come on, let's head back. I'll help you if you're having trouble walking. Your soldiers are worried about you. Go show them you're doing just fine.
Yes, you're right. Thank you, Caspar.
No problem. Just remember that it's okay to make mistakes, as long as you're learning from them.
Man, I really wish his name was Casper, not Caspar. It would have been much funnier.
Ah, there you are. I just checked your room, but obviously you weren't in there.
Oh, you didn't break the door down again looking for me, did you?
Of course not. I'm not unreasonable. I just wanted to discuss something with you.
Discuss? Is that really all? Okay, I can handle that.
Firstly, I'd like to apologize for breaking down your door. I'm sorry. It was perhaps a bit rash. There was a period of time, quite a while ago, when I acted much the same as you. I spent many hours locked away in my own room.
You did? Really?
Really? Because I understood where you were coming from, I knew I had to intervene. At a moment's notice, all you care for could be swept away. At that time, is it better to have wasted your energy hiding away? Or better to have spent it honing your skills so that you can lend a hand?
But even if I did train, what's the point? It's not like it would do much good.
Don't speak so disparagingly of yourself. It doesn't help things. You have plenty of strengths.
No, you think so?
Just look how quickly you sprint back to your room, for example. With more practice, I have a feeling you could outrun most anyone. You're also exceedingly talented in the arts. Surely there's a creative way to apply those talents on the battlefield. Stop wasting your breath and energy on putting yourself down. Just try your best. I'm not giving up on you. You have so much power in you, just waiting to be unleashed.
You really believe all that? That's so nice. All right. For you, Ingrid, I'll do it.
Excellent. Let's be on our way.
Hey!
Hmm.
Wait! Ah, what are you doing? I didn't agree to this! Put me down! Ugh. Ugh. Do you have to be so bouncy?
That got us here much quicker, don't you think? Let's begin. Let's warm up by sparring.
Hmm.
Oh, stop! Please! I surrender!
Giving in so soon? There's no such thing as surrender on the battlefield.
Help!
Yeah, I definitely feel that was pre-time skip because most of the conversations are either, before, or after the time skip. You can tell. They're usually at B where they're, pre-time skip.
Why are you sighing at me like that? Is my face really so hopeless?
Ingrid, I am trying to think of something polite to say right now. It's as if you have no experience dressing elegantly. At all.
I mean, I don't. Dorothea, I appreciate you taking the time, but yes, we're in the middle of a war. It hasn't been my top priority.
I guess this is a post-time skip.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be so hard on you. I was just surprised, is all. A gal like you, you're a beautiful young noblewoman who somehow has no experience with either makeup or fashion. This is basic stuff, Ingrid. The basics of the basics, really. But it's like you've never even tried.
I was just never interested before. Even as a child, it never appealed to me. Fussy, pretty things always felt unnecessary. And gussing myself up to attract someone has never played an important part in my pursuits as a knight. But you've piqued my interest in all this.
How?
It's not like I'd be dressing myself up just to attract someone. I'd be dressing up for the occasion, specifically. Even if I don't dress up any other time, a special occasion such as this is a good reason to try it out.
Well, yeah. That's why we dress up when we go out. You might meet someone, and you want to look your best, don't you? Get their attention, lure them in.
That's the exact opposite of what I just said. You said previously that dressing up for the occasion is reason enough.
Oh, I just said that so you wouldn't run off screaming.
I see.
My real point is that you're quite lovely even before getting all fixed up. Absolutely bewitching, in fact. So when I'm finished with you, well, someone looking at you could be forgiven for wanting to pounce.
Could they be? I don't know that I'd forgive them.
Oh, I know. That's why just before I lunge, I'm gonna ask permission.
Permission is not granted. Ever. Just back off.
Alright, that was funny.
Hello?
Oh, hello. Have you been there long? I was absorbed in this book.
Another silly legend?
First of all, they're not silly. And second of all, no. It's an essay that speaks to uncommon and challenging battle scenarios. I've been researching such things since you proposed your unique strategy. Listen to this. Your commander gives orders that put your hometown in extreme danger. Do you carry out the orders or protect your hometown?
What nonsense. I was talking about real-world tactics, not some dumb ethical question.
Whatever your personal feelings on the matter, I see similarities between such tactics and these dumb ethical questions. I haven't read beyond this one, but I think the obvious answer is to follow your commander. The duty and pride of being a knight demand that you follow orders, regardless of your own feelings. But if I were put in such a position, I don't know how I'd fare. In fact, were someone to carry out those orders, I know that I'd attempt to stop them.
Stop bothering with all this. You're not meant to be a knight. Go find a husband.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
I know you hate the ideals of chivalry and pride. So much so, you ran away from your duty as your family's heir. You have no right to criticize me for my ideals.
Perhaps not. At least I know not to heedlessly obey orders. I know not to romanticize blind obedience. My brother taught me to think for myself.
Don't you dare bring Glenn into this.
You're right. Forget it.
I'm pretty sure this is a pre-time skip. Hey, there's one for him.
Today's dinner is steak and then a cake that's yummy yum. Now it's time to fill my tummy tummy tum. Oh, this mountain of sweets and treats that I long to eat. Oh, stacks of steaks and cakes and crumbs and yums.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
Felix, you weren't listening, were you?
I heard enough to know that you're hungry.
No, I mean, well, yes. At least tell me you didn't see the dance.
You have nice footwork. Get something to eat. I can take over watering the plants.
What's going on?
You're evil, Felix!
And you're shouting.
You can't just spy on people while they're singing without even saying anything! It's not right!
I actually did call out that I was coming in. It's not my fault you didn't hear.
Well, you need to speak louder then! Ugh, this is so embarrassing. And of course I was singing some silly food song I made up. I should have been singing about bears or swamp beasties.
I didn't realize there were songs about bears and swamp beasties. That food song seemed to be close to your heart. Your stomach isn't far from your heart, after all.
Oh, you are the worst!
Huh. What was that about? I better water these plants. Wouldn't want them to get thirsty, or they might start singing too.
By the way, before I forget, I was wondering, there's like one character I recruited but isn't here. You know, no, Ash. Yeah, his name Ash. I was wondering, what the hell happened to him? Like, is it because I have too many characters here, or is it because he, you know, is working against the church because of, you know, his stepfather dying? I mean, oh, come on, that's bullshit.
Is something troubling you, Ingrid?
Oh, Sedith. You seem to have caught me when I thought nobody was around.
Perhaps I can help, if you would like to share.
I wouldn't want to bother you with my trivialities.
I will not pry, of course. But if you keep it to yourself, no one will be able to help you.
That's true. It's regarding my father.
Count Galatea. I have met him once or twice.
Yes, that's him. He and I have parted ways now. House Galatea was financially unstable for a long time. We were hardly able to support our soldiers and their steeds. My father had hopes that with my crest, I'd be married into a noble family, and that House Galatea's financial troubles would be a thing of the past.
Ah, I see. And the other house would benefit from the addition of your crest-bearing blood.
That was certainly the idea, but I broke ties with them. I do wonder how they are doing back home.
It seems to me you have suffered much for the misfortune of being born with a crest.
I beg your pardon?
I know crests are highly valued, but they are also a burden. My feelings are mixed.
You truly think so? But you're so devoted to the goddess. I'm surprised to hear you say such a thing.
Perhaps one day I will expound upon my opinion of crests in greater detail with you. For now, let it suffice to say that whether or not you bear one is secondary to your identity. You are a person, first and foremost. And you should be permitted to grow as a person, crest or not.
I agree. Thank you for listening.
If you ever wish to discuss this again, consider me available whenever you please.
Thank you so much.
So I had an opportunity for this one, and Missed it? That's lame. Like, really lame. Okay, well, here's more conversations.
I'm so sorry, Professor. I somehow overslept and missed our training session. I didn't mean to cause you and the others so much trouble. Imagine if that had happened when I was needed in battle. It really is inexcusable. It's just, when I'm studying tactics, I lose track of time and... Oh, who am I kidding? I've always been like this. Before I came to the Officers Academy, I was a student at the School of Sorcery in Ferdiad.
They said that like a long time ago, right?
Even back then, I was pulling all-nighters well before the exams. And I never even noticed I was harming myself. I'm just too focused on my goal. I know I've already told you this, but I really love to learn new things. It's a passion of sorts. I first realized I had the learning bug when I was about 4 or 5 years old. My father was so happy to see me using magic. Seeing him happy made me happy too. And that made me want to work even harder. If only things could have stayed like that.
What's up?
When I was about 13, my father left home.
And he died?
He was a devout man, so I figured he'd gone to the monastery. That's why I went to the School of Sorcery, so that I could eventually get accepted at the Officers Academy. I studied harder than ever, and sure enough, I finally earned a referral. Unfortunately, my passion for learning became more of an obsession. I got so focused, I kind of forgot how to relax. Feels like I've been running in circles ever since. No way! I still have such a long way to go. Still, I guess I'm doing something wrong if I'm working so hard I can't even work hard anymore. Okay, it's decided. From now on, I'll try my best not to try my best.
kind of counterreductive, whatever it is, that kind of defeats the purpose.
Yay! With you on my side, I'm sure I'll succeed. From now on, if you see me going overboard, just let me know. I'm a new woman after all.
Right, well. Wait a minute. Here's the other one.
Professor. Thank you for helping me with my training again today, Professor. I'm gonna keep at it for a while longer, so you go on ahead. I can't. Not when I'm right on the cusp of using my power to greater potential. Surely you yourself are tired. Just don't worry about me, okay?
that was quick.
I'm sorry, Professor. It was careless of me to continue, despite how fatigued I clearly was. I probably should have listened to you. Now I've made a mess of things. I can't help but feel the need to rush in all things constantly. You get that way when you realize you haven't got much time.
Like, seriously, how much time do you have? I mean, you told me this like 5 years ago in game, so 5 years later, you're like, I don't know, 20, 19? How much time do you have?
13 years ago, House Ordelia was involved in a civil conflict within the Empire. All we did was respond to a call for aid. We weren't involved politically. But once the rebellion was crushed, my family was held responsible for the aid we gave, and the Empire gained some sway over us as a result. At the time, the noble houses of the Alliance took a passive stance. No one lent aid to my family. As a result, some key officials within the family were killed, and people from the Empire were sent to replace them. Among those people were some mysterious mages. They were unsettling, in a word. Skin pale as death.
You mean the mages we fought earlier?
One after another, they captured and imprisoned the children of our household. They began performing terrible rituals on the children, though it's probably more accurate to call them
experiments. With the Empire monitoring our every move, my parents could do nothing but watch in horror as all of this unfolded. One after another, the children died, until the only one left was me. You know, my hair wasn't always this color. During their experiments, they'd been doing things with my blood. One morning, I awoke like this, a shock of white hair, all trace of pigment gone. Upon seeing me, the mages were delighted. They realized that their experiments had finally succeeded. Sure enough, they ran a test and saw that 2 crests coexisted within me. Losing pigment from my hair wasn't the only loss. The mages informed me that my lifespan was now greatly shortened. 5 more years at most, perhaps less. Shortly thereafter, the mages lost interest in me, and we never saw them in the Ordelia household again. Since all that, our family has been in decline. It's challenging now even to govern our territory. After all my mother and father have suffered, I at least want them to have peace as they grow older. That is all I wish for, but I haven't much time to ensure it comes to pass. It's not like what's been done to me can be undone. Professor, the only way I can conceive of would be to remove my crest somehow. But I don't know if that's even remotely possible. Even if it were, I wouldn't be of much use to you and the others without my crests. You sound resolved. I'll allow your resolve to bolster my own. Thank you, Professor.
Okay, now I'm gonna say it. If this was, for 5 years ago, before the time skip, then she survived 5 years, so already the curse or whatever, is it still affecting her or not anymore? I guess I have to get to support A and see what she says.
Ugh, that hurts. Ah, Professor. Thanks for stopping by. It's not bad. I was even told I'd be cleared for service starting tomorrow. Besides, I got this scar fighting for you. It's almost like a medal or something.
Didn't you want to kill me? What? Oh, that's what he said like 5 years ago.
When I thought you were going to be killed for real, my reflexes kicked in. I reacted without thinking. It doesn't mean I've stopped being jealous of you. But come on, I can't help but look up to you. If I'd had the guts to run away from home, I wonder if I would have cared as little about my crest as you do yours. No, but if I thought I could have escaped, I would have tried. I'd leave behind House Gautier and the life of a nobleman and anybody who knew I had a crest. Our home is to the very north of the kingdom. Just across the mountains from us is land inhabited by foreigners to Fodlan. It once belonged to Fargus, but now that the kingdom has collapsed, it's only a matter of time until fighting breaks out. Anyway, that land has been contested for centuries, and all that time, it has fallen to House Gautier to protect it. Actually, our Lance of Ruin has been doing most of the protecting. Those were dangerous times. One wrong step, and we would have lost our relic to the church. My father was afraid that the church would try to keep the lance, so he entrusted it to me.
Yeah, I remember.
If an emergency arose, I was supposed to be called back home. I guess those very situations are why my family values crests so much. Since I bear a crest, my parents made sure I was never left wanting. My older brother didn't have one, and so when I was born, he was pushed aside. You know, he once shoved me in a well. He left me on the mountainside in the middle of winter, too.
Jesus.
Even as a little kid, I understood why he was like that. My mere existence stole everything from him. I have no right to complain when I am surrounded by people who would give anything to bear a crest, but do not. Now, women smile at me for the same reason my parents adore me, and my brother wanted me dead. And I have to meet them all with a smile and a wink, because I have a crest. The women who just want to use me to become nobility? Hatred's probably the right word. Though, in the end, that's just an easy answer. I don't even know how I truly feel about it all. Anyway, it was pretty unreasonable of me to resent you. I'm really sorry about that. And I want to say thank you, Professor. Seriously, thank you. Before I met you, I'd gone my whole life not knowing there was another way for me to live. So, from the bottom of my heart, I'm glad we met.
That's kind. Oh, and by the way, I made Felix to a mortal servant. Finally. Nothing else, so that's it again. Thank you.